Yo. Welcome back to another episode of It Is What It Is / Overreaction Monday, fresh off a championship weekend, man. Good weekend of football, at least one of the games. I'm one half of the pod, Darius Butler. Got my co-host back in the building, Antoine Bethea.
What it do?
What's good, brother? How was your weekend, man?
Weekend was good. Like you said, man, yesterday was able to sit through one hell of a game, and then the other game was unfortunate. Yeah. But other than that, man, good weekend. Great weekend. How about yours?
Same, man. Great weekend with the fam, obviously. But back to this football real quick. The NFC Championship obviously opened up yesterday. That was a bummer, a buzzkill
for sure.
Two teams that have been great. Philly been great all season long. San Fran had to find their footing, but we'll talk about that more on the other side. That was an ugly game, and then the AFC Championship game came down to the last drive, essentially the last play. Huge penalty. Definitely got a lot to talk about on that game as well. But good weekend, good football. We got the Super Bowl. It's set. The Super Bowl matchup is set. What else we gonna get into outside of football?
Man, we got the new lineup, new setup for the NBA All-Star game. Definitely got to go ahead.
Now we got some coaching hires, more rumors on the coaching firings, on the coaching mill for the NFL.
Yeah. So. But some good topics on the football side, though. I think we'll have a good show. Obviously, as always, put your questions in the comment section. We got some questions from Twitter we're gonna get to.
We got some Twitter questions, huh?
So we got some Twitter questions, so we're gonna get to those as well.
All right. That's a bet, man. So we'll see y'all on the other side, man. Should be a good one.
Yes, sir.
Darius Butler. Antoine Bethea
Boom. Yes, sir. Welcome back to the other side of Man to Man Pod. What you want to jump off with, AB?
Man, let's jump right into it, man. Like you said, Sunday, man. Sunday yesterday was Championship Sunday. Started off with the NFC Championship. So let's get it, man. The 49ers at the Philadelphia Eagles, man. Let's recap this game. You said it before on the other side that the 49ers, man, they've been playing a hell of a ball all year. They were down to the third string quarterback. Traveled to Philly. They played Jalen Hurts, my MVP, and the Philadelphia Eagles. And early in the game, man, a huge injury at the quarterback position that really just changed the whole dynamic of the game. Yeah. It changed the whole dynamic. Obviously Josh Johnson, he gets in. He's the fourth string quarterback, and then he gets injured. Brock Purdy comes back in. What was your thoughts, man? Very, very unfortunate. Like you said, man, the 49ers have been playing well all year. I think everybody was waiting for this game. Both offenses explosive. Two very good defenses.
Yeah.
Very good coaches. Sound football team on both sidelines. And one injury, which we know is part of the game, affects the game in a terrible way for the 49ers. What was your thoughts?
Yeah, just an example, another reminder of why, we talk about all the time, hey, man, these quarterbacks, they get too much attention, too much blame, too much praise, too much money sometimes as far as salary cap goes. But you see why. the quarterback position is so important. Once Purdy went down, it was over. Obviously, Josh Johnson has been around the league for a while.
Yeah.
He's a vet, but you get thrown into the NFC Championship game on the road. Most quarterbacks not going to be able to handle that. Brock Purdy, I was excited. I was excited for the matchup. Brock Purdy is kind of taking everybody by storm, the whole league. Nobody expected anything from Brock Purdy once he got into that lineup. Outside of him, his family, probably his teammates that's been seeing him grinding all year. And it was special. It's kind of going to be a storybook ending one way or the other. And I expected a great game. Obviously, San Fran has had an explosive offense all season long with Purdy at the helm throughout these playoffs. Same with the Eagles. Defense, offense on both of these teams, man. So huge letdown. Obviously, injuries are a part of the game. But after that, halfway through the first or halfway through the second, really, once Johnson got knocked out, shit was damn near like a preseason game. Like you had the Eagles knew, at least the viewers at home, we were watching at home, you saw Purdy struggling on the sideline, and a lot of people on my timeline I saw was like, hey man, Purdy, you can throw on the sideline, why you not in the game? You got an elbow injury, thug it out, play through it. Like, I hate when people say dumb shit like that. You had no idea what that injury is, no idea how it feels.
Yeah.
You kind of like the emergency quarterback at that point. I can still take a snap. I can hand the ball off. I think he threw one screen pass. But even on the sideline, you can see there was no velocity on those throws that he was throwing. So they were up against it. I think the fullback was the emergency quarterback. They didn't want to go that route. But it was ugly. They ended up winning 31-7. Pretty much, even the last game with the Giants, pretty much cruise control too. So a lot of people want to say, have the Eagles been challenged yet going into the Super Bowl? I'm interested to hear your thoughts on that, based on the route that they've taken so far.
I can care less about the route. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, we play whoever shows up. So again, the 49ers, they were fortunate enough. They played well. They were there. It wasn't the Eagles' fault that it was the Eagles' fault that the quarterback got hurt. Hassan Reddick out there playing like a dog.
Gosh.
So and proud of that, playing the Giants. So again, man, we can't complain about who the Eagles played. At the end of the day, they had a team that would match up against them. They went out there and did what they were supposed to do. Very, very, very impressive. I'm even watching the game and just looking at it, like, for Jalen Hurts, like even his stat line. His stat line isn't crazy. 121 yards passing. I know at one point in the game he was around towards the end of the game around like 35, 40 yards rushing. So it's not like he's lighting it up as far as the stat line, but the O-line is playing magnificent. That run game is great. And we talk about it early in the year, like, the quarterback's putting up big numbers, but at the end of the day, when it comes down to championship football, what the Eagles are doing, your front has to be dominant.
Yeah.
And that's what they're doing. That O-line is being dominant. They're being able to run the ball, control the clock. On the flip side, on the defensive side, we've seen it. That front is causing havoc, late in the year and in the playoffs, man. So again, Eagles did what they were supposed to do. And you can't complain about that. The Eagles did what they were supposed to do. Again, unfortunate for the 49ers. But shit, I think they're in a really good situation. You got three quarterbacks over there. You got to see what you're going to do. Trey Lance, Jimmy G, and Brock. You got three guys that can.
What you doing, man? What are you doing next year? You Kyle Shanahan, you obviously going to make the call. Who is opening up your
Brock Purdy?
Camp?
Brock Purdy right now, he's my guy. He's my
QB1.
guy. QB1. I've seen enough. I think everybody's been waiting for that game where it's okay, that's who he really is, but he hasn't shown us that. So right now, going into next off season, Brock Purdy is my quarterback one. And obviously, with Trey Lance, still a young quarterback, I hate it, but one of those two guys got to go, for sure. That's a crowded quarterback room. So one of those other guys got to go. But Brock Purdy, man, he's my QB1.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, I think Jimmy G think he's a free agent after this year.
Yeah.
But you know, gotta go. And I'm right there with you, Brock Purdy, QB1. I know that the draft position don't say it, the contract doesn't say it, but his play did. And he went out there and handled business all season long. Well, for the part of the time that he was out there and coming into this game. Jalen Hurts, your MVP right now, would have been mine if he didn't miss those games. My MVP vote would go to Patrick Mahomes. But going into this NFC Championship game with Jalen Hurts, who's, you know, right in there in the MVP conversation, a lot of people still felt like 49ers had a great shot at this with a healthy Brock Purdy.
Yeah.
Obviously, you know, if we're fifth, we all be drunk, so we're not going to play that game. He did get hurt, and it wasn't like he, you know, tripped off the plane getting injured. To your point, Hassan Reddick being blocked by a tight end, I believe.
Dog.
I mean, this dude probably, if you had 5 candidates to be in a defensive player of the year conversation, he would definitely be in it. He's not in the final 3. That came down to Nick Bosa, Michael Parsons, and Chris Jones, who absolutely dominated that AFC Championship last night. But Hassan Reddick had an unbelievable year. I know you've been talking about him all year long before the year even started.
Yeah.
All these moves that the Eagles made, you know, obviously the injuries happened with San Fran, but you signed James Bradbury in the offseason.
Yep.
You get Hassan Reddick.
A.J. Brown,
you make that trade. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, you get that trade over from the New Orleans Saints.
In the draft.
You get all the, a couple years ago, you bring Slay over. You bring all these pieces in, and you look at it on paper, and it's like, you know, this is how you give your team, your quarterback, your coach, everybody the best opportunity to succeed. And everybody did their job this year. You know, Everybody did their job. You know, obviously Hurts missed those couple games with the shoulder injury, but he gets back in there playoff time. Already had a 1-seed home field advantage throughout. And this is what you see, man. So vibes are high in Philly. When the line opened up, the initial line for the Philly Chiefs game, it was I think the Chiefs were favored by 1.5. And I mean, like 6-7 minutes later, I look back and Philly was already favored by 2. So a lot of the money, a lot of the bettors are high on Philly right now. You know, at least right now.
Yeah.
We'll see if that changes at all.
So, as you just clicked to it, Bengals at the Chiefs. And you know what? This is what I'm going to say. I'm going to blame the mayor. And it was crazy because I really wanted to go in and change my pick after
you see that shit?
Talking that shit. I'm like, you know, you just threw the bad juju out there, yo. Like, bruh, stay in your lane. Run the city.
Way too much.
Run the city, man. Run the city,
doing
man.
Way too much,
man. Putting a lot of ammo on the Chiefs' back, man. But another great game between these two teams, man. I would say probably two of the top quarterbacks in the league right now, Patrick Mahomes and Joe Burrow. I know I had Cincinnati Bengals winning. I'm not sure who you had. You had Cincy or the Chiefs in this one?
I had the Cincy.
You had Cincy as well. Yeah.
Before the game, you know, I was hesitant because I saw way too many people picking Cincy. But that was my pick from the jump. I think I picked them on Monday or Thursday, just like you did. So,
yeah. So, another great matchup, back and forth. You talked about it on the Chiefs side, man. Chris Jones had a hell of a game, wrecked that game. Patrick Mahomes, I think it was a lot of questions as far as, you know, how would he be able to move around coming off that high ankle sprain. I think we both dealt with that, so we knew how tough that would be. There you go, man. Chris Jones. It's crazy. 8 pressures on Sunday, 3 sacks. The result of those 8 pressures: 3 sacks, 2 by Jones himself, 5 incompletions. Not a single positive yard generated by the Bengals, and that's what you want when you dominant. You got a dog up front that can wreck the game and have a major effect on the game. Obviously, you talked about it. You know, it didn't come down to just one play, but the last play of regulation was a huge play.
And it was a penalty. No doubt
it
about
was.
it.
No doubt about it. Hustling to the quarterback. push Patrick Mahomes out of bounds, giving them the extra 15 yards. It really put them in great field position for the field goal, man. I seen some good video, man. BJ Hill, you know, at the end of in the locker room, you know, the reporters were asking questions, and BJ Hill was standing there next to him.
Yeah.
I don't want to mispronounce his name.
Osai. Yeah.
So
Joseph,
you know, shout out to BJ Hill, man, being a brother, being a teammate, great teammate. But unfortunate for the Bengals, man, because I was hoping for overtime.
Yeah. Yeah, everybody was obviously for the entertainment. Some people for their same game parlays, waiting for any time touchdown from somebody. But it was a good game. You always want bonus football when you got two teams like that. And it, like you said, you know, that penalty was a huge one. And as players, we both know it's never truly one play that wins or loses you the game. And as a player, I know for me personally, at least, you know, at the end of the game, the first person you look at is yourself. Like, damn, I could. And it may be insignificant plays to other people.
Yeah,
it's like, damn, if I would have called that instead of this, I could have picked that off. Like, I knew that was coming. I should have made that play. I could have fell on the fumble. I could have made that tackle on open field, whatever it is, to prevent that first down and force a punt. So you always go through all these different plays and different scenarios that you know could have been different. But for fans, you know, and a lot of people, you know, that was obviously a huge play, had a huge impact on the game, but it was more than that. But this game, man, and I'm the furthest from, you know, the whole, hey, the game is rigged. The NFL want this team to win or that.
What you about to say, D-Butt?
Hey, but that shit last night, I'm not saying it wasn't, and I know from the player standpoint, I almost probably would never go there like, hey, this shit is rigged or that from the player or coach's standpoint. These refs, man, and it was so bad that this was one of the top trends last night on Twitter. NFL #NFL rigged. And so that's the question a lot of people have. Hey, man, and I put up a tweet after the game, you know, that showed the first lines of the Super Bowl and like, all right, you know, who y'all got, who we like. And like probably 80% of the response was like, man, who's reffing? I like the refs. Who the refs want to win? Blah, blah, blah. Right. So what's your thought on all the conversation about the game? And this is right on the heels of, I don't know if you're watching that Celtics-Lakers game.
I did.
But if you watch that Celtics-Lakers game, the fourth quarter of that game was all Celtics down to that missed foul on Bron. So what's your thoughts on all this chatter about the NFL being rigged?
So, again, right, we talk about all the time, man. It's a billion-dollar business, man. So, multi-billion-dollar business. So, at the end of the day, we talk about it. The NFL is going to do what's best for the NFL. I'm not going to say it's rigged, but we got to implement some changes, right? Where I understand human error as far as refs. Yeah. But being that so much is on the line for both teams, and we talk about it as well, where it's a lot of betting going on now. It's a lot of betting going on now, right? So a lot of people got a lot of money on the line, and we can't put that solely in the hands of refs, right? So we got all these cameras out there on the field. We got New York watching. We got to be able to overturn these calls. All right, we got to be able to, hey, look, man, now that was a bad call. That was a bad spot. That wasn't a defensive pass interference, because, again, like, all this shit affects the game. And, again, that affects people's livelihoods, man. So we gotta do something about the refs, because players the fans not paying to see the refs. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, the fans, the spectators, we're here to see the guys, the women that's out there performing on the court, that's performing on the field. And a lot of times, man, it's coming down to having these conversations, and these conversations really shouldn't be had as far as the refs. Like, the NFL, they got to do something about it, man. Again, it's a billion-dollar business, man. We gotta get something more consistent.
Yeah, and consistently better. I think it goes back to we just talked about NBA too, but for the NFL, full-time, well-paid NFL refs. I think that will help, number one, the product on the field. I think that will help them perform their jobs better. Just like I'm sure football players got a lot better once they didn't have to have second and third jobs at home off the field. Like now everything goes into being the best football players possible. And we on AFC Championship last night. Like this is the game. That may be the last opportunity the Chiefs or the Bengals have to go. Any of those players have to go to the Super Bowl. Those fan bases, et cetera, and for it to come down to refs that aren't even full-time or that aren't being compensated properly, in regards to, we talking about this being a multi-billion-dollar a year industry. And then that way, the other things aren't even thought about as much. You're not going to make every call correctly. It's going to be human error. Everything is moving faster, but, using the eye in the sky more, using the chip that's in the ball more even. And it's got to be better. It's got to be some real conversations had and some real changes happening, especially because there's always been a lot of betting going on, a lot of money on the game, a lot of this, a lot of that. But now it's way more prevalent and more legal than it's ever been. And it's only going to be more than that. So all these questions are going to be more and more. So do you start to lose the integrity? The NFL always talking about the integrity of the shield.
Yeah.
And how people, me included, like I said, I'm the last person to ever come into a conversation saying, hey, that shit rigged and this shit scripted. But when you watching that shit like last night or the basketball game the night before, it's like, okay, clearly, this game clearly looks like the refs are leaning one way, and that can't happen. That cannot happen on any level, especially on the biggest level, biggest game. It's like, damn, if you're doing it when 50 million people watching, you got to be doing it on the 1 o'clock game in Ohio, Cleveland, Ohio. So we got to fix that, man. Got to fix it quick because obviously I'm a huge fan of the game. I know the players and coaches and shit like that, they got nothing to do with it. But as far as that referee in the NFL, they got to clean it up. We got to get a better product, 1,000%.
For sure. I'm 100% in agreement with you, my guy.
Yeah, that was bad. But what you got, man? I saw you throw up a couple questions before we keep it moving.
Nah, man, it was just a couple comments.
Okay.
My guy T-Bone 71806 says asking 50-year-olds to keep up with that speed is unfair to everyone. I get it, and somebody said B Hammer full-time and a little younger. You said it right there before, D-Buck. Full-time refs.
I can't believe we even still having that conversation. I honestly thought that was done with after the little lockout that the refs had. But guess what the fuck do I know? Yeah. But man, we should still have a great Super Bowl. Obviously, Kansas City Chiefs, Philadelphia Eagles, both 1 seeds, both great teams, both 2 favorites at the quarterback position for the MVP award right now, Jalen Hurts and Patrick Mahomes, and they'll also be making history as well. And you were part of history 16 years ago.
Damn.
You was part of history, man. 16 years after Tony Dungy and Lovie Smith made history by becoming the first 2 black head coaches to face off in the Super Bowl. Jalen Hurts and Patrick Mahomes become the first 2 starting black quarterbacks to face off in Super Bowl. Glory. That's a tweet by Chris Williamson, C. Williamson 44. And that's crazy. This may not matter to a lot of people, but this is definitely important. It's a huge milestone, I believe, and it's right on the brink of Black History Month coming up. It's always Black History Month for me, but this is huge. This is big. Obviously, when you think about how far the black quarterback has come and had to fight through and get real opportunity and to be taking the field as the Jalen Hurts and Patrick Mahomes. That's a special moment, man. Any thoughts on that? And then a flashback for you to your rookie year. With Lovie Smith and Tony Dungy. Were
Yeah,
you
man.
aware of that at that point?
Yeah. It was talked about. It was talked about definitely going into the game. But to go back to Jalen Hurts and Patrick Mahomes, and you touched on is that it just shows the growth of the game, because at one point, you had to do some dynamic stuff to even be considered to be able to play the quarterback position, being black, because they always talked about one of the things are black quarterbacks black players smart enough to play that position. Obviously, you had the Doug Williams, the Randall Cunningham, Warren Moons, and things of that nature. But to see this first time, you got two strong black quarterbacks to face off in the Super Bowl, and this game's been played for many years, man. So again, it's good to see, man, and it's something that we shouldn't take lightly.
Yeah, it's awesome to see, man. I'm definitely going to be excited about this matchup. Obviously, they're two great quarterbacks and changing the game. Also, just saw somebody put it in the chat. This is going to be the first brother
Kelsey,
the Kelseys playing each other in the Super Bowl. That's dope too, man.
Yeah,
that's unbelievable. And it ain't like they players that's barely holding on to a roster spot. Like these two all pros, I believe, Jason Kelce and Travis Kelce, facing off in the Super Bowl. Started their podcast this year, Two New Heights.
Yeah,
great time to start that. So it's gonna be dope.
Hey, I know one thing they happy about.
What's that?
Shit. They can split them Super Bowl tickets up amongst their family.
That's a fact out there. Everybody gonna want to go to Super Bowl, period. But AZ?
Yeah. So that's one thing that they'll definitely be excited about. Hey, you get mom's side, I get dad's side.
So what's that like? That lead up? Because I played in a championship game. We lost though. We obviously didn't go to Super Bowl. But what's it like after you punch your ticket to the bowl? Obviously, you got that 2-week window. Everybody know you're going. You dealt with it twice. Everybody know you're going. You got to take care of everybody. How distracting is that? How different is that going into a wild card divisional championship game, going into a Super Bowl game off the field?
Man, first off, like you on cloud nine. You said it. Like you work your butt off your entire all season, regular season to get to this point, right? To get to the Super Bowl, to play for that Lombardi Trophy. So again, this week, this is when you're going to take care of all the off the field stuff. I remember vividly, like on this Monday, I think, or was it Tuesday, like we had a meeting, a meeting with, Jim Irsay, Bill Polian, all the players, and you could bring a significant other just to talk about all the gymnastics that's going to go on, during this week, as far as, okay, who you going to have handle your tickets, as far as the hotel rooms, so you can get a lot of questions, but at the end of the day, you're on cloud nine. So you try to get all that stuff out of the way. So as a player, as a team, you can focus on winning this last game, then, you just get to talk about, okay, when we get to the place wherever the Super Bowl is, okay, how's that week going to be laid out, right? Obviously, you got media day on Wednesday, which is a big thing, the big thing again is, okay, what is curfew? Do we have curfew, or do we just play it out like a regular week, man? So it's a lot of stuff that goes on. I feel like the team that really handles the off the field stuff the best, and you go into the week and you try to keep things as regular as possible. It seems like those might be the teams that play the best, limited distractions. But again, man, you on cloud nine, you out there having a good time, man, and just hoping that you can, the team can go out there and get that dub.
Yeah, man, damn, that you just impacted my thoughts on betting this game just now, real quick, thinking about that, getting that little insight on off the field. But we got plenty of time to get to that. Speaking of betting, our sponsor for the show, FanDuel Sportsbook.
Shout out
to the FanDuel Sportsbook, official partner of the NFL. We've said it before, we'll say it again. We're gonna be out there on Radio Row with some special guests, bringing you some special guests and special entertainment. We got to drop these interviews too at some point, because somebody we interviewed, Joshua Williams, rookie. Had a big play last night, man. Talk about
Huge.
tips and overthrows. Big play in the game last night. Big interception. He's going to a Super Bowl in his rookie year, which is outstanding, man. So shout out and congrats to him.
Yeah.
But speaking of Super Bowl, here we go. This one not actually. You know what? I'm gonna take this one off. This is a different one. Let me just read this one on camera. This year, the only app you need at your Super Bowl party is FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. Download FanDuel now and use the promo code
M2M Live, baby.
Okay, M2M Live, so you can bet Super Bowl 57 with a no sweat first bet. You'll get up to $3,000 back in bonus bets. If your first bet doesn't win, that's $3,000 if your first bet doesn't win. Wow, up to $3,000. I'm sorry. FanDuel lets you bet on everything from the money line to point spreads to who will score a touchdown, all on the top-rated sportsbook app that's safe, secure, and super easy to use. Best of all, you can get paid on your winnings instantly. I like that. Fast payment, fast friends. So join FanDuel today with promo code AB.
M2M Live.
My man, to claim your no sweat first bet on Super Bowl 57. Damn, Super Bowl 57 already. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NFL. Once again, appreciate them for rocking with us all year.
As always.
What else we got? Kelce in the playoffs. We got to talk a little bit about Travis Kelce in the playoffs. This tight end GOAT conversation is getting more interesting by the game. Travis Kelce, most playoff receiving TDs of all time, with another one last night. He moves up to second place, tied with Rob Gronkowski with 15. Jerry Rice, the GOAT, is sitting up there at number 1, comfortable 22 playoff receiving TDs. You think Kelce got a shot to get there?
He definitely does. He definitely does, man, with him and Mahomes, and just he's a playmaker, man. And again, like, you know, him and Patrick Mahomes, when you can have a quarterback and a receiver tied in on the same page, how those guys are, I definitely think he has a chance to get to that 22.
What year is this for? You know what year this is for?
I do not.
Is it like, I feel like it's like 12.
Who? Kelce 12? Hell no.
You think more?
Nah, less.
Less?
I think.
Somebody look that up. Let us know in the chat, man.
I'm about to look it up.
All right, let us know in the chat. I took a picture. So y'all gonna get this picture straight from 2 MVPs. Actually, I took it on my phone.
He came in 13. He's
2013. So what's that? 10, 11? It might be 11 then.
And 10.
All right, 10, 11, somewhere around there.
Yeah, you was close. For some reason.
You didn't think it was that old?
I did not.
Yeah, because he had some good years with Alex Smith. I think it's just Alex Smith before Mahomes took over. But Mahomes, if he wins 2 Super Bowls, if he wins this Super Bowl, this will be his 6th season. It took Tom Brady 11, Joe Montana 12, and Peyton Manning 18 to get to their 2 Super Bowl, 2 MVPs, and this dude he has a chance at least to do it in his 6th season. That's
crazy.
Yeah, man. And you know, draft season right around the corner in April. You always hear the sad ass stories in draft season with, you know, terrible home, terrible upbringing coming in. I want to highlight both of these dads.
Shout out.
Historic Super Bowl matchup. Both of these active dads, man. Let's start with which one you want to start with, AB?
Man, we're gonna start with Pat Mahomes Sr., man. He was a 3-sport star in high school: basketball, football, and baseball. Played 10 plus years in the MLB. And he said last night what he was smoking on. But
smoking on that Burrow pack.
Smoking on that Burrow pack, baby. But man, look, shout out to Pat Mahomes Sr. Definitely, as you stated, man. We don't talk about this enough. You know, black fathers in the household being great role models for their sons. And I just, good to see, man. Shout out to Pat Mahomes Sr., shout out to Pat Mahomes. And look, they trying to go get another Super Bowl this year, baby.
Yes, sir. Another one already. And then Avrion Hurts Sr., been a head coach at Channelview High School since 2006. Also played football, ran track and field at Howard Payne University, man. And watching these, watching both of these young superstar quarterbacks, you could tell they were obviously brought up the right way. But just Jalen Hurts, his whole demeanor, how he carries himself, how he leads. You can tell that he's a coach's son.
For sure.
And a lot of these, and even how we describe a lot of quarterbacks, a lot of black quarterbacks, a lot of time, you still don't use all those words where, you say like gifted or this and that. But these guys are obviously talented and super smart, well coached, intelligent, great leaders. So shout out once again to both of these quarterbacks, man. Both of these teams have punched their ticket to the big one, Super Bowl. AZ cannot wait for it, man. We got some coaching moves. I believe one of your old coaches, Vic Fangio, was his last job was a head coach at Denver, right?
Damn, my shit started tripping.
Uh-oh. You good? You back?
Word.
Yeah, so first coaching move. We're going to talk about a few coaching moves before we move on to some of these questions. Vic Fangio, this is your former head coach. I mean, not DC, right?
DC, man. Okay. DC, man, the best DC that I had when I was in the league for 14 years, man. Shout out to Vic Fangio, man. Obviously, he had a head coaching run with the Denver Broncos.
Yep.
Didn't go as planned, if I was to say. But as far as a DC, man, exactly what you want in a DC as a player. He's going to put you in position. He's going to put everybody in position to make plays. Week in and week out, you're going to know the strengths and weaknesses of your opposing offense. You're going to know the strengths and weaknesses of the defense that you're going to be playing, where you need to be helped at, where your strengths are. And again, hey, playmakers got to go make plays, man. And the way he called games, perfect. Out of the 16 games we played that year, it was one bad game that he called. And we said it on the field, on the sideline.
Hey, Vic, you some shit today.
And the next day in the meeting, guess what he said?
Hey, I was some shit.
I was some shit, man. And I salute the Vic Fangio, man. So this is a great hire for the Dolphins, man. Being able to go
for my Dolphins.
For one of your teams. But to see what that Dolphins, the talent that the Dolphins have, obviously we talk about on the offensive side of the ball. We still got to wait to see what happens with Tua.
Still in concussion protocol, by the way.
Still in concussion protocol. But then on the defensive side of the ball, man, the weapons that he has on that defensive side, I'm excited for one of your teams, man. I'm excited to see how Vic Fangio can come in there and get that defense rocking, man.
Yeah, I'm excited too, man. For all the reasons you said, coming back, the highest paid, fresh off the sideline, once again, the highest paid defensive coordinator in all of football, Vic Fangio. So shout out to Vic, man. The Cowboys and Kellen Moore decided to mutually part ways. That's so nice of them. Such a nice headline.
I like, and we talked about it with the Leftwich situation. They didn't word it right. They ain't worded like that with my man B Left.
Hey, this is the exact conversation we had when this happened. I said, hey, man, Tom Pelissero, Cowboys and offensive coordinator, Kellen Moore have mutually agreed to part ways per sources. So Cowboys move on from Kellen Moore. Mike McCarthy will be calling plays once again going into next season. I feel like this was one of those situations where they knew what time it was. And Mike said, all right, if I'm going to get fired, if I'm going to go out, I'm going to go out my way calling this shit how I want to call it. So Dak Prescott, the Cowboys offense was not good enough in the playoffs. So they fire Kellen Moore. They part ways with Kellen Moore. Sure, and how they worded it, I feel like this helps set up the next move for this coach. I feel like it should almost always be worded this way, unless you know. But, it's the business. Different organizations do it differently. Greg Roman's firing or parting ways with the Ravens came out similar to this. Speaking of, Eric Bieniemy has been connected to the Baltimore Ravens offensive coordinator job. And if he's not going to be a head coach in this league, I would love to see Eric Bieniemy calling the offense for Lamar Jackson.
Question.
I would love to see that.
Question for you. If you Eric Bieniemy,
I don't think it's going to be up to him, honestly.
Ho. If you Eric Bieniemy though, like, would you leave Kansas City?
No.
Oh, I'm about to say, I'm like, would you? I understand, like, if you're going to get a head coaching job, but if I'm going to jump somewhere else to be a OC, would I leave the situation that I'm in right now?
Actually, yeah.
And tell me why. Why would you do that?
I would. So number one, I don't think it's going to be his choice. I think it's maybe something going on behind the scenes with him and the organization. Maybe that it's these reports or them even giving permission for him to speak to other teams. Because typically with a coordinator that's been there that long with this type of success, you're not letting that motherfucker walk out the door.
Yeah.
So with him, the reason why I would say, okay, yeah, I would go from the Chiefs to another coordinator position, because as long as he's with Andy Reid, and it's not fair because it wasn't the case with Doug Peterson and a lot of these other coaches, but as long as he's with Andy Reid, I feel like he's never going to get the credit that he's due. However much credit that is for his creativity, his putting together game plan, him calling plays, whatever it is, he'll never get that because everybody will always look at it and say, that's Andy Reid's offense. That's Big Red running the show. If you go to Baltimore and everybody has had an opinion on Lamar Jackson, on hey, he's not good enough to play quarterback. He's not good enough to win a Super Bowl. He's not good enough to do. He can't throw the ball in this league. And if Eric Bieniemy takes his offense to Lamar Jackson, obviously got a draft to get the talent there as well, and you start, putting up numbers and making runs at chips, winning the chip. Now he's gonna be a head coach. Now there is no more this Andy Reid cloud over him, which I believe is unfair. I believe he should have got a shot. I don't know what's going on behind the scenes as far as the interview process, as far as the other shit. Based on what we see on the football field, Eric Bieniemy should have had an opportunity.
Right.
In my opinion. But I think that's part of the reason why he hasn't up until this point. So if he goes to Baltimore, and it ain't like you going to a team with a young quarterback you develop, you got an absolute superstar with Lamar Jackson at quarterback. And that would be like, if your offensive coordinator drawing dialing shit up, like that would be the quarterback, one of the top 3 or 4 that I would want to be calling. So for that reason, I would say, yeah, I would, especially if I win another bowl. I got 2 chips. What about you? You sound like you ain't leaving Mahomes though.
If
it's up to you.
It was just a question because again, I get 100% what you're saying. Like in my eyes, okay, first it's like a lateral move. Now, if I'm going to be a head coach, I'm out of there. I got my own show. I can run my own show. Again, to your point, being able to go to Baltimore, you have a talent like Lamar Jackson. I'm with that, but what does that look like? You've seen for years, everybody's been yelling, "Hey, get Lamar a receiver, get him some receivers." So I just think it's a lot that will have to go into that. Where I leave and do go get this OC job at Baltimore. Again, what are we bringing in so I can really run my offense? How my offense can be ran? Is you kind of look at the situation where you got Lamar. Pat Mahomes in Kansas City. You got a Kelsey. You got a Mark Andrews in Baltimore. Two different tight ends, but Mark Andrews is a really, really, really good tight end.
Yeah,
can't do all the things that Kelsey does, but a really good tight end. So, it will be interesting. It was just a question for me that, would you make that lateral move? But you bring up some good points.
Yeah, and you like literally. You rarely on broadcast, on anywhere, you rarely hear Eric Bieniemy accredited with anything as far as when it comes to that offense. And like I said, I don't think even Mike McDaniel in San Fran, who we knew never called plays in San Fran, he got a lot of that credit. It's a lot of people getting a lot of credit. But so yeah, for that reason, especially if we're going to win another bowl.
But to that point though, I feel like sometimes that's like on some in-house shit too, though. Like where like in San Fran, Shanahan could have been telling people like, nah, Mike McDaniel, he's doing X, Y, and Z. Where I feel like Andy Reid could do the same thing for Eric Bieniemy, like come
But
out.
I feel like Andy Reid kind of has, though. Anytime you hear Andy Reid speak on it, I feel like he kind of puts Eric Bieniemy over. And not put him over, but just maybe make it plain of what he is and who he's been. Patrick Mahomes as well. I've heard him speak highly of Eric Bieniemy. But we know how powerful that media voice is, too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And once again, I'm not saying this for everybody, but more people have certain insights on what's going on behind the scenes as far as, and that's stuff that I'll probably never be privy to. Some of us will never be privy to, but they know what's going on behind the scenes, right, wrong, or different. We know how that shit goes in this business. But I think he's more than earned an opportunity to be a head coach. I saw that he's been connected to the Indianapolis coach job.
Yep.
I think that'll be great. But, for him, since it's taken this long, I feel like since it's taken this long, I would want him to go into a situation. I would much rather see him even been an OC for a year with Lamar Jackson overtaking that coaching job with the Colts. Because we get one bad shot. Steve Wilkes got one shot in Arizona, got another shot to be an interim in Carolina. I feel like blew that process out of the water and still didn't get a real look at the head coaching job. So we shall see, man.
We shall.
We shall see. Another coach back on the Patriots sideline. The Patriots finally got a real offensive coordinator now with Mac Jones going into his third year. Bill O'Brien, who was the OC when I was there in New England my first 2 years, was a fiery coach. Always came similar to BA as far as talking shit to players and shit on the field, the defensive players, and how he ran the scout team, and his interactions with Tom Brady have been caught a lot on camera. Very intense coach. I love him as a coach. So I think this would be great for Mac Jones and his progression. And obviously the Patriots had to go a different direction than they went this year with Joe Judge and Matty P calling the plays. So what's your thoughts? Any thoughts on Billy O coming back to the Patriots sideline?
Yeah, man. The first thing I thought was like, man, good for Mac Jones, for his growth, for his process at the quarterback position, being able to see his maturity. So to be able to have Billy O back on the sideline, back in that quarterback room, just teaching him the do's and the don'ts of the position, man. It's good to see. So obviously Bill Belichick looked at it, surveyed the season, was like, nah, we can't do that again. So great decision by him, and it'll be good for Mac Jones next year.
Yes, sir, man. So now that championship weekend is over, we got NFL Pro Bowl coming up. Skill Showdown Thursday, February 2nd, flag football and Skill Showdown on Sunday, February 5th at 3 p.m. on ESPN. Pat McAfee and Kirk Herbstreit will be calling the 7-on-7 games. Laura Rutledge, Marcus Spears, RG3, Ryan Clark, and Dan Orlowski will call the skills challenges out there in Vegas, man. Will you be tuning in at all to see the new format? As a former Pro Bowler, how do you feel about the new format? And how did you feel about the game last year and the years before, and how we've ended up at this point now with the 7-on-7 and the skills challenge?
Man, I hate it. I hate it and I love it, right? So okay. I hate the fact that we did away with the game. I hate where the game.
You don't like that?
I hate where the game went to. Like I actually like shooting up and going out there and playing against the quote unquote best of that year. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I think I appreciated that. You know what I'm saying? You work hard, you get, you get notarized as one of the best from your peers and the fans and the coaches. But again, as we've seen lately, the game was trash. It turned to trash. Guys weren't tackling, guys weren't playing hard, so it turned to trash. So now I am excited to see what will come of this new format, skills challenge, the 7-on-7. So I am excited about that. Shout out to Pat, Kirk, and the guys is going to be calling the different programs. But I am kind of sick, man. I enjoy that part. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Suiting up, you got the different flavor uniforms, whatever. You're going out there and you're playing against the guys, man. So we'll see. But I think it'll be fun. I think it'll be fun though.
It'll be something obviously different. So a lot of people gonna hate it. A lot of people gonna love it. The game, from a viewer point, it became unwatchable. I feel like if you're watching football, linemen obviously not blocking, dudes ain't tackling, and for understandable reasons. A lot of money on the line. A lot of people out there who got a contract coming up, maybe going into their last year of a deal. So I definitely get it. Why the game became what it became. I just remember coming up, I wish you can go back to them skills challenges, the quarterback throwing, the fastest man, the strongest man, those type of things. I'm interested to see what they do with the linemen. Got to do something with the big linemen, the big fellas as well. I will be watching it. Obviously, Pat will be calling it. Kirk will be calling it, so I'll be watching it. And just watching it out of intrigue. Like, how is this going to look? Is there any chance they go back to the old format? Does this thing have some legs and some creativity maybe that I didn't expect? So I'm definitely going to watch it for a few different reasons, but it's definitely great to hear your insight, obviously, as a Pro Bowler yourself. NBA All-Star format has changed as well. So obviously we know it's been an All-Star draft, 2 captains picking their teams. But now the draft will take place the same day as the All-Star game. So kind of like pickup basketball. When you're out there on the court, 2 team captains will draft rosters live prior to tip-off. All-Star starters who receive most fan votes from each conference will be captains. So you got the 2 captains. You got the guys who are obviously, you got the starter pool. So out of those players, you'll pick from those players, and then everybody else get picked. So I'm sure somebody gonna be feeling some type of way.
Salty.
being the last guy.
I know you've been what you laughing at, bro?
I already know you about to say some dumb shit.
Shit, I already know you've been sick in the gym before, man. All right, man. I guess we'll get D-Buck. All right, come on, D-Buck.
Hey, yo, this shit happened to me one time. One time that I could literally remember a few years ago. I got invited to this. This is during the pandemic, actually. So people were renting gyms and kind of getting little private runs. And so I get invited to this private run. And so I'm like, all right, I'm over there. I see it's like, 10, basically 9, 10 dudes on the course. So I'm like, find the dude who invited me. Hey, what up? So I'm like, all right, who running? Like, the boy pulling up. Oh, all right, bet. So I'm like, bro, bet. I got downs. That's a bet. I got downs. Hey. Shot they lights out, bro.
I know my man D-Buck was hot.
Hot. You want to my hot? Y'all ain't tell him. Oh, all right. That's what's up.
My man called you and invited you. And then
this is the thing. The dude who invited me, all he did was he rented the gym. He rented the gym.
He ain't run
the camera. He ain't even playing. So it's all these, semi-pro cats that played overseas. It's like hoopers. So they probably looking at me like, he's saying, and I'm literally on the gym. They shoot around. They do nothing. Bet out, hey, bro, steaming. I'm talking about steaming. Hey, bust their ass. Oh, my, I'm gonna post that video today. Matter of fact, oh my.
Yeah. Post that video, man.
It
better not be no bums in the video, neither, man. You had your Butler jersey on.
Yo, what make it funny is I had my little brother. I had my brother Joy prime time. He played with Akron the year before. Yeah. So had his face on the front. My name, Butler, across the top. His number 13. So low key had my jersey on. So yeah, I was hot.
Oh man.
I'm talking about, but yeah, somebody gonna be feeling some type of way.
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch the draft. I'm gonna see who's the second and last pick. And I'm gonna bet it's over on whatever his points prop is because I know he's shooting.
Yeah, he shoot. Yeah, I was about to say the same thing. Whoever the last pick, I'm betting.
That's a fact, man. But I think that's a good move by the NBA. I think Kevin Durant originally dropped the idea on his podcast, and then they went with it. But yeah,
Shout out the NBA, man. Listen to their players, man.
Yeah, that's good. They always kind of a little bit ahead of the game. But that was funny. Get some of these questions.
Yeah, man. So
I gotta see you at the gym. I know you. Hey, no, man, I had downs, man.
Oh hell nah.
Shut
AB,
up.
what's good? Hey, now we got you. We right here, AB. Man, shit. Let me lace up real quick. You know how I be debug when somebody walk in the gym. Oh shit, here go AB.
Hey, that's
Here you go.
I do know.
Hey, from JR. I ain't about to say all them numbers. Who you think is the better LB, Shaq Leonard or Fred Warner? Hashtag M2M Live. That's a tough question.
That's like a burner account.
Yeah, that's a tough question though.
If I had to pick one,
two great backs. Two great linebackers.
Two great linebackers, two different linebackers. If I had to pick one, I would go with Fred Warner.
Why?
Why? His versatility, always in the right spot. His communication, because he's kind of, I would call him like a force multiplier. So he's one of those, he's watching him on film. You see his communicate, make sure everybody's on point, left, right, as a Mike linebacker is supposed to do. Great in the run game, blitz game, pass coverage, everything, checks all the boxes. I think Shaquille Leonard does as well. He's more of a splash player. He's more of a, I'm going to create a turnover, a straight sack, interception, a forced fumble, damn near every game. So you can't go wrong with either one of these players. But if I had to choose one, probably some recency bias too. Fred Warner coming off a first-team All-Pro year. Shaquille Leonard didn't see the field much this year because of his back injury. So, but if I had to pick one, I would go Fred Warner, 54, out there in San Fran. What about you?
I mean, we had this conversation at it might have been last year. I'm gonna go Leonard. I'm just not gonna agree with you. I'm gonna just go. I'll go Shaq Leonard. So one of the main reasons you just talked about, creating those turnovers, getting the ball back to the offense. So you don't really have a lot of players like that in the league where they can create turnovers, always around the ball. And those are just special players. Again, I don't think you can go wrong with either one of these guys. Both of these guys are great, do a great job at their position. So I'm gonna go Shaq Leonard.
All right. There you go. Let me see another question. Another good question we got in here. Bomb. Trashy Stoner. Hold up. We need a true solution for human error at refs. I mean, yeah, I think so. I think honestly we need better refereeing. We need better, maybe some fines,
accountability,
suspensions.
Accountability, man. Yeah. We need it.
Same way players have. Players, you're accountable for certain things. If it's just egregious by a referee or a refereeing crew, hey, these cats ain't seen the field for 2 weeks or a week, and I think that'll make them do better. And once again, it is a tough job. It's a hard job. Don't get me wrong. And on the NFLs, from their standpoint, I also think full-time refs. I'm talking about off season when we start OTAs. They start OTAs. They
training,
start backpedaling on the trail. They do their fitness test.
Fact.
Hey, what you saw here? What you saw here? I mean, I asked everybody. Nope, wrong. So I think that needs to be put in place as well, and that'll help these. That'll help a lot of these old heads out, man.
Yeah. 6 foot of sneakers. Show that. Brady spoke about bad football. Does bad football influence on-field officiating, more specifically televised games?
Yeah, I think, it was bad. I think he was talking bad football as far, obviously, the players and execution, being in the right place, blocking, throwing, tackling, all those things. But does it impact? I guess.
I don't think so. Just because somebody's bad technique doesn't mean you out there making shitty calls. You gotta do your job.
Do your job.
That's it. Do your job.
Your job. There you go.
I got
Simple
heated
as that.
I got heated yesterday. We had 7-on-7 practice yesterday. 15-year-old 8th grader called the play. He didn't do his job. Got scored on. Walking to the sideline. Coach, can we run this? I think if we run this, this will be better. Man, I almost took off on little bro. Like, bro, all you got to do is do your job. If I call another defense and you don't do your job, guess what? It's going to be the same result that just happened.
Facts.
So at the end of the day, just do your job.
Hey, do your job. Simple. Accountability, do your job. They go for players, coaches, and refs. Do your job, man.
That's it.
Yeah, man. Good show, man. Good question. Let me see if any other good questions I see on here on the Twitter. So we had a good one, man. We had a good one today.
Great one, man. I'm excited. For next week, man. We on Radio Row, man.
Yeah,
man. Shout out to FanDuel. They're gonna set it up for us, man. We're gonna have some guests, some surprises, some special guests on the show, man. So I'm extremely excited for that one.
I'm excited as well, man. It's gonna be a good one. Before we get up out of here, now we don't talk about it much on here actually, because we don't see it much on here actually. And it got up. The numbers went higher and higher as this playoff season went on for some reason. But bulletin board material. You talked about the mayor. Obviously, Eli Apple was out there trolling, not so much the Chiefs, but the Bills, the team that he had beat prior, just got everybody kind of against him. I think everybody was rooting for Eli's demise or his failure last night. His mom actually deactivated her Twitter after the game. But you spoke about the mayor. And at that point, I think we kind of had all right. When I first saw it, I'm like, okay, this can't be the real mayor of this game. Went saw it was. So obviously those type of things make their way into, you heard Burrowhead, you heard that a lot. You heard from the Bengals players. Then you start hearing it from the Chiefs players. So obviously it was something that was resonating in that locker room with a team that didn't necessarily need any extra motivation. But it's a couple clips from Travis Kelce and the Chiefs after the game.
Woo! Burrowhead my ass! Woo! It's Mahomes' house!
I gotta hear that one more time.
Woo! Burrowhead my ass! Woo! It's Mahomes' house!
Hey, bro, just let it play out, man. Before you talk all your stuff, man, just let the game play out, man. Because again, I promise you, when I heard the mayor say that, I'm like, bro, I might as well change my pick. Might as well change my pick, man.
It went that was too far. Not that it was too far, but it was. You know what? Travis Kelce said it better than we could say it.
Some wise words for that Cincinnati mayor. Know your role and shut your mouth, you jabroni.
The jabroni killed me, though.
You jabroni. Hey, man, shout out to Kelce going all the way back to the Attitude Era. The Bengals, man, obviously they were feeling themselves. Obviously,
as they should have. Shit. Playing good. We got confidence in our guys. But dang,
I loved it, man.
Know
your role and shut your mouth.
Jabroni, I wonder where my Cincy hat today.
Jabroni, you should have worn it anyway. I'm gonna have my Eagles hat on. Actually, I gotta get it. South Carolina be sending me an Eagles hoodie.
Here we go.
Yeah, man. It's the Eagles hoodie, man. I did pick Eagles Chargers in the Super Bowl. And I knew in the back of my mind the Chargers had an uphill battle in the AFC West, and the Chiefs were probably going to win it.
Far off on that Chargers pick.
But I was. But I went with my heart. But I saw this Eagles thing from a mile away. You got to be able to scout with some anticipation.
Man, Cut it out.
Sirianni, Bradbury, Slade, CJ, GJ. I mean, the right was on the wall. It was obvious for me.
So you knew it, right?
Yeah.
I hear you.
Never a doubt.
Never a doubt.
Thursday, man. We'll see y'all Thursday. And then next week, Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Be out there.
Yeah.
That's it, man. Thursday and Friday, right?
Thursday and Friday.
Thursday and Friday will be out there. Super Bowl week, man. So appreciate y'all for rocking with us. You got anything else, AB?
Man, hey, you know what it is. Get your 30 minutes. Get your 30 minutes.
I gotta find this basketball video.
Get your 30 minutes, man. Get your sweat in, man. Get your walk in, a little jog. Get that heart rate up.
You heard it, man. Get 30
I'm excited,
minutes,
man. Last week, man, I did my brain and body scan, man. That's why I missed on Thursday. I ain't gonna front. We family here. I was a little nervous on the brain scan. I ain't know what I was gonna see. But
it's scary. I go every 6 months.
But your boy good, man. So
that's what we like to hear.
Yes, sir.
All right, man. We out.
Peace.
Butler. Darius Butler. Antoine Bethea has
Plus in select states. First online real money wager only. Refund issued as a non-withdrawable free bet as it expires in 14 days. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. You got a gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit fanduel.com/RG. That's in Colorado, Iowa, Michigan, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Illinois, and Virginia. 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT-STEP to 53342 NAZ. 1-888-789-777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut. 1-800-9-WITH-IT in Indiana. Visit ksgamblinghelp.com in Kansas. 1-877-770-STOP in Louisiana. And then 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY to 467-369 in New York. Tennessee, red line. All right. 1-800-889-9789 in Tennessee. 1-800-522-4700 in Wyoming. Or visit www.1800gambler.net in West Virginia.